claim that stopped the machinery of the royal household was not made by a lawyer. It was not made by a prince. It was not written in the language of trusts, or deeds, or succession. It was spoken in the clear, unself-conscious voice of an 11-year-old girl in the kitchen of Adelaide Cottage on a Sunday morning over a bowl of cereal, and it consisted of 9 words. Princess Charlotte Elizabeth Diana looked up from her bowl, looked at her mother and said, "Mamma, when the jewels are found, they are mine, because she is my grandmother too." The kitchen went quiet. Catherine set down the kettle. William, who had been reading the Sunday papers at the table, lowered them. And in that silence, the 2 adults understood, with the particular horror of parents who realize their child has been carrying a weight they did not know about, that their daughter had been listening, that she had heard the whispers, that she knew about the restoration, that she knew about the hidden, and that she had decided, in the quiet logic of a child, that the jewels belonged to her, not because she wanted to wear them, but because Diana was her grandmother too. The claim was not, in any legal sense, a claim. Charlotte is 11. She has no standing in any trust. She has no right to demand anything from any estate. The jewels, when found, would belong to the estate of Diana, Princess of Wales, and would be distributed according to the terms of her will, which left her personal possessions to her sons, William and Harry, in trust, to pass to their children when they come of age. The law is clear. The process is clear. The machinery is clear, but Charlotte's 9 words were not a legal claim. They were a moral claim, a human claim, the claim of a child who has grown up in the shadow of a grandmother she never met, who sees her mother wear the sapphire engagement ring, who sees her brother carry the weight of the future, who sees her father carry the weight of the past, and who wants, with the simple, unanswerable logic of a child, one small thing that was her grandmother's. And that claim, made in a kitchen over a bowl of cereal, was the most powerful document in the entire affair, because it could not be argued with, it could not be denied, it could not be deferred, it could only be honoured or broken. Before we reconstruct the discovery of the hidden cash, the sealed cedar box found behind a false panel in the dressing room at Kensington Palace, the jewels inside, and the note in Diana's hand that changed everything, before we walk through the family meeting where the claim was discussed and the legal question it raised about Harry's daughter Lilibet, who also carries Diana's name, and before we describe the moment Charlotte finally held the jewels in her hands, make sure to hit subscribe to Crown Watch and turn on the notification bell, because this story is not about jewels. It is about a grandmother who set something aside for a granddaughter she never met, and a granddaughter who, 29 years later, reached across the silence and claimed it, and about the family that had to decide whether the law or the love would decide who holds the past. Let's begin with the discovery, because the discovery is where the story started, and understanding the discovery is essential to understanding why the claim mattered. Kensington Palace, apartment 1A, was Diana's home. It is where she lived. It is where she raised William and Harry. It is where she died, in the sense that it was the home she left on the night of the 31st of August 1997, and never returned to. The apartment has been sealed, in large part since her death. It is not a museum. It is not open to the public. It is held by the royal household as a private residence, used occasionally for storage and for official functions. But the rooms Diana lived in, her bedroom, her dressing room, her sitting room, have been kept largely as they were. Not frozen, not preserved in glass, but kept, quietly, respectfully kept. In the spring of this year, the household undertook a necessary restoration of the apartment. The roof required repair. The wiring, which dated to the 1980s, needed to be replaced. The restoration was careful, supervised, and slow. A small team of conservators worked room by room, cataloguing, protecting, and repairing. It was in the dressing room on a Tuesday afternoon in late April that a conservator named Ellen Marsh, removing a section of the original oak panelling to access a conduit, found that the panel was loose, not damaged. Loose. Deliberately loose. She pulled it away. And behind it, in a shallow cavity in the wall, she found a box. The box was cedar, small, about the size of a shoebox. It was not locked. It was tied with a ribbon, faded to a pale grey that had once been blue. Inside, wrapped in tissue paper, were the jewels. Not the famous ones, not the sapphire engagement ring, which Catherine wears. Not the Spencer tiara, not the pieces that have been photographed, catalogued and written about for decades. These were personal pieces, intimate pieces, pieces that had never entered the official royal inventory. A pearl locket, small and plain, that opened to hold 2 photographs. A gold bracelet, thin, engraved on the inside with a date. A pair of diamond studs, small enough to be worn every day. A brooch in the shape of a forget-me-not flower, set with tiny sapphires. And a ring. Not an engagement ring. A simple band of yellow gold, set with a single small emerald. 5 pieces. Personal. Hidden. And according to the inventory that was immediately compiled, entirely unknown to the royal household, to the executors of Diana's estate, and to her sons. Beneath the jewels, at the bottom of the cedar box, was a folded sheet of notepaper. It was Diana's. The hand was unmistakable. The looping, hurried, slightly slanted script that appears on every letter she ever wrote. It was not addressed to anyone. It was not dated, but the conservators, and later the family, understood when it must have been written. The note was short, 6 lines. It read, "These are mine, not the crown's, not the family's, mine. I bought them with my own money, or they were given to me by those who loved me. They are not for display, they are for wearing, for living, for a woman's own life. When I am gone, let them go to my granddaughter, whoever she may be, whenever she may come. Let her wear them and know that her grandmother was a woman before she was a princess. Diana." Let me pause here, because the note is the hinge of the entire story. Diana wrote, "My granddaughter." Singular. Not my grandchildren, not my son's children, my granddaughter. At the time she wrote it, sometime in 1996 or early 1997, based on the paper and the hand, she had no grandchildren. She had no way of knowing whether she would ever have a granddaughter. She had 2 sons. William was 15. Harry was 12. The idea of a granddaughter was a hope, a wish, a gesture towards a future she could not see, and she set aside 5 personal jewels and wrote a note and hid them in a cavity in her dressing room wall for a granddaughter who did not yet exist. And then she died, and the box stayed in the wall for 29 years, and the granddaughter came. 2 of them, in fact, Charlotte and Lilibet, and the note, written for a singular granddaughter, now faced a plural reality. And that is where the claim and the shock and the family meeting began. The discovery was reported to the household, and from the household to William and Catherine within 24 hours. The box was moved to a secure location. The jewels were catalogued, photographed, and appraised. The note was conserved, and the question of ownership was referred to the executors of Diana's estate, who had long since completed their work, but who were reconvened formally to address the newly discovered assets. The legal position was, as we have said, clear. The jewels were part of Diana's personal estate. They passed, under her will, to her sons, William and Harry, in trust. And they would, in due course, pass to their children. The executor's preliminary view was that the jewels should be divided, the pieces of greatest sentimental value to be shared between the 2 branches of the family. Charlotte and Lilibet, the 2 granddaughters, the 2 girls the note could have meant. But the legal position was not the only position, because the news of the discovery, like all news in a household, leaked, not to the press, to the family. The staff who knew, the nannies, the private secretaries, the protection officers, and children, as children do, overheard. Charlotte overheard. She heard the word jewels. She heard the word Diana. She heard the word granddaughter. And she put the pieces together in the way that an 11-year-old girl who has been named Charlotte Elizabeth Diana puts pieces together. And on Sunday morning, over her cereal, she made her claim. "Mama, when the jewels are found, they are mine, because she is my grandmother too." Catherine's response in the kitchen was careful. She did not say yes. She did not say no. She said, "We will talk about it, my love." And Charlotte, satisfied that the claim had been registered, went back to her cereal. And Catherine and William looked at each other across the table, and they understood that they had a problem, not a legal problem, a human one, because their daughter had made a claim, and the claim was not greedy. It was grief. It was the grief of a child who has never met her grandmother, and who wants, with the simple logic of a child, one small thing that was her grandmother's. And to deny that claim would be to deny the grief, and to honour it would be to enter a legal and familial thicket involving Harry and Lilibet and the executors and the note that said, "My granddaughter," singular, and the thicket was real, and it was deep, and it was weighty. William called Harry that evening, not through lawyers, not through the palace, directly. The call was, by both men's later accounts, difficult, not hostile, difficult. William explained the discovery. He explained the note. He explained Charlotte's claim. And Harry, who has spent his adult life fighting for his mother's memory, who has built her life around the protection of her legacy, who has named his daughter Lilibet Diana, listened. And when William finished, Harry said, "The note says granddaughter, singular. I have a daughter too. Lilibet carries her name. Lilibet is her granddaughter too. And if the jewels go to Charlotte, then Lilibet is told again that she is the one on the outside, that her grandmother's things go to the other branch, and I will not let my daughter be told that, not again, not ever." William understood. He had expected it. He said, "I know, and I'm not asking you to give them up. I am telling you that Charlotte has made a claim, and the claim is not mine. It is not Catherine's. It is hers. And it is not a legal claim. It is a child's claim. And I do not know how to weigh a child's claim against a legal division, and I do not want to, because if we divide the jewels by law, we divide the grandmother by law, and she did not want that. She wrote my granddaughter, singular, because she hoped for one, and she got two, and the two of them are both hers, and the note cannot be divided, and the love cannot be divided. And I need you to help me find a way that does not divide them."
Harry was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "What does Charlotte want? Does she want to wear them? Does she want to keep them? What does she actually want?"
William said,
"I do not know. She has not said. She has only said they are hers, because Diana is her grandmother too."
Harry said, "Then ask her. Ask her what she wants, because if she wants to wear them, that is one thing. If she wants to keep them, that is another. And if she wants them because she wants to feel her grandmother, then that is a third thing. And the third thing is the one that matters. And the third thing cannot be divided. It can only be shared." And that, according to those close to both men, was the turning point of the call. Because Harry, in that moment, stopped thinking like a litigant and started thinking like a father, and a father of a daughter who also wanted to feel her grandmother. The family meeting was held on Wednesday, not a formal council, not a legal session, a family gathering. William, Catherine, Harry, Meghan, who joined by video link from Montecito, and the two executors of Diana's estate who attended to advise on the legal framework. The children were not present. The purpose was singular, to decide the disposition of the 5 jewels in light of the note and in light of the 2 claims. Charlotte's claim made in a kitchen, and Lilibet's claim made by her father on her behalf in a phone call. 2 granddaughters, 1 note, 5 jewels, and a grandmother who had hoped for one and been given 2. The executors presented the legal options. Option 1, divide the jewels. 2 to Charlotte, 2 to Lilibet, 1 to be held in trust jointly until the girls come of age, at which point they may decide its disposition together. Option 2, hold all 5 in trust jointly for both girls to be distributed when they come of age by their joint agreement. Option 3, follow the note, give the jewels to the granddaughter, and since there are 2, determine by some mechanism which one the note meant. The executors noted carefully that option 3 was legally unworkable. The note was a wish, not a directive. It could not be enforced. It could only be honoured in spirit. And the spirit, they said, was not division. It was connection. Diana had hidden the jewels to connect herself to a future granddaughter, not to create a contest between 2 of them. Meghan spoke. She spoke from Montecito on the video screen, and her voice was quiet and careful, and according to those present, unexpectedly moving. She said, "I never met her. I know her only through Harry's stories, and through photographs, and through my daughter's name. And I have spent years protecting her memory from being used and being sold and being claimed by people who did not love her. And I understand the instinct to divide, to allocate, to make sure each branch gets its share, because that is what institutions do. They divide, But Diana did not hide those jewels for an institution. She hid them for a girl she would never meet, a girl who would wear them and know that her grandmother was a woman before she was a princess. And if we divide them, we turn them into an institution's property, and we kill the thing she was trying to give. So I will say what I think. Do not divide them. Give them to the girl who asked, because she asked, and the asking is the connection, and the connection is the gift. The room was quiet. Harry looked at the screen. He looked at his wife. He thought about Lilibet. He thought about his daughter in California, who carries his mother's name, who has never stood on the island at Althorpe, who has never been to the grave, who is, by the geometry of the family's fractures, the granddaughter on the outside. And he thought about Charlotte, who was 11, who lives at Adelaide Cottage, who sees the sapphire ring on her mother's hand, who asked over a bowl of cereal for the one thing that was her grandmother's. And Harry, who has spent his life fighting for his mother's memory, made the decision that no one expected. He said, "Give them to Charlotte." William looked at his brother. He said, "Harry, Lilibet." Harry held up a hand. He said, "Lilibet has her name. Lilibet has my mother's name. That is the greatest jewel. That is the one that cannot be divided, and it has already been given to her. And I will not trade my daughter's name for a bracelet." Charlotte asked. She asked because she wants to feel her grandmother. And my mother hid those jewels for a girl who wanted to feel her. So give them to Charlotte. And I will tell Lilibet, when she is old enough, that her grandmother's jewels went to her cousin, and that her grandmother's name went to her, and that the name is the better gift. And she will understand, because she is Diana. And Diana's name is worth more than Diana's pearls. The executors recorded the decision. The jewels would be given to Charlotte, not as a legal inheritance, not as a division of the estate, as a fulfillment of the note, as the honouring of the wish. The executors drafted a simple memorandum, signed by both sons, as the trustees of Diana's personal estate, authorising the transfer of the 5 jewels to Charlotte upon her 12th birthday, to be held for her, and to pass to her absolutely when she comes of age. And the memorandum included, at Catherine's insistence, a single line, drawn directly from the note, "Given in fulfilment of the wish of Diana, Princess of Wales, that her granddaughter wear them and know that her grandmother was a woman before she was a princess." The conversation with Charlotte was held by Catherine on the evening of the decision. Catherine sat with Charlotte in her bedroom, after the bath, after the homework, in the quiet hour before sleep. She did not bring the jewels. They were not ready. They were being cleaned and conserved and prepared. She brought only the truth. She said, "Charlotte, we have talked about the jewels, and I want to tell you what has been decided. And I want you to understand why, because the why matters more than the what." Charlotte sat up. She pulled her knees to her chest. She listened. Catherine said, "The jewels are going to be given to you on your 12th birthday. They will be yours, to keep, and one day to wear. And they are given to you because your grandmother wanted them to go to her granddaughter. And you are her granddaughter. And you asked, and the asking mattered. But I need you to understand something. They are not given to you because you are more her granddaughter than Lilibet. You are not. You are both her granddaughters, equally, fully. And Lilibet has her name, and you have the jewels, and the name and the jewels are both gifts from the same woman, and they are both love. And you must never, ever think that the jewels make you closer to her than Lilibet is, because they do not. The closeness is not in the pearls. The closeness is in the blood, and the blood is the same, and the love is the same." Charlotte was quiet for a long time. Then she said,
"Will Lilibet be sad?"
Catherine said, "She might be, when she is older. And if she is sad, you must be the one who tells her that the name is the better gift. And you must be the one who shares the jewels with her. When you see her, when you wear them, you must tell her, 'These are ours, not mine, ours, because they are our grandmother's. And our grandmother is ours, both of us, together. Can you promise me that?' Charlotte nodded. She said, 'I promise. They are ours. I will tell her.' And Catherine pulled her daughter close, and she held her. And she thought about the woman she had never met, the woman whose ring she wore, the woman who had hidden 5 jewels in a wall for a granddaughter she would never see. And she thought, she is still giving. 29 years after her death, she's still giving. And the giving is the love. And the love is the jewels, and the jewels are the girl. And the girl is the granddaughter, and the granddaughter is the future. And the future is the wearing. And the wearing is the knowing. And the knowing is the woman. And the woman is Diana. And Diana is the grandmother. And the grandmother is the love. And the love is the claim. And the claim is the girl. And the girl is Charlotte. And Charlotte is the future. And the future is the wearing. And the wearing is the love. The jewels were prepared over the following weeks. The conservators cleaned them, the pearl locket was opened, and the 2 photographs inside were identified. One was of William and Harry as small boys on a beach. The other was of Diana herself, laughing, her hair wet, her face turned to the sun, taken, the conservators believed, on a private holiday by someone who loved her. The photographs were copied, conserved, and returned to the locket. The gold bracelet's engraving was read under magnification for the first time in decades. It was a date, the 31st of August, 1981. Not the date of her wedding. The date, the family realized, of something else. Something private. Something hers. The diamond studs were polished, the forget-me-not brooch was restrung, and the emerald ring was resized, carefully, to a small size. A child's size. A size that would fit, one day, a granddaughter's hand. Charlotte received the jewels on her 12th birthday. Not in a ceremony, not in front of the family, in private, in her bedroom, in the quiet hour after the birthday lunch, when the guests had gone and the house was settling into the softness of the evening. Catherine brought the cedar box, the same box. The conservators had preserved it. The ribbon, faded to grey, had been carefully stabilised and retied. Catherine placed the box on Charlotte's bed. She said, "They are yours. Open it." Charlotte opened the box. She lifted the tissue paper, and she saw them. The locket, the bracelet, the studs, the brooch, the ring, 5 pieces, personal, hidden, hers. Not yet. She lifted the locket first. She opened it. She looked at the 2 photographs. The boys on the beach, the laughing woman, her hair wet, her face to the sun, and Charlotte, who has seen 1,000 photographs of Diana, who knows the official images, the state portraits, the charity visits, the balcony waves, looked at this photograph, the private one, the laughing one, the wet-haired one, and she said quietly, "She looks happy." Catherine said, "She was happy, in that moment. Whoever took it loved her, and she knew it, and that is why she kept it, and that is why she is in your locket, because the happiness is the jewel. The pearls are only the setting." Charlotte closed the locket. She held it in her hand. And then she did something that Catherine has described since, as the moment she understood what the claim had really been. She held it to her own chest. She held it out. To Catherine, she said, "You wear the ring, so you should hold the locket, just for a minute, so she is with both of us." And Catherine took the locket, and she held it. And the 2 of them, the mother and the daughter, the woman who wears the sapphire and the girl who holds the pearls, sat on the bed in the quiet evening light, holding, between them, the small plain pearl locket that a laughing woman had kept and hidden and given across 29 years to the granddaughters. And the holding was the connection, and the connection was the gift, and the gift was the love. And the love was Diana, and Diana was the grandmother, and the grandmother was the woman, and the woman was the happiness, and the happiness was the jewel, and the jewel was the holding, and the holding was the 2, and the 2 were the mother and the daughter, and the mother and the daughter were the family, and the family was the love, and the love was the claim, and the claim was the girl. And the girl was Charlotte, and Charlotte was the granddaughter, and the granddaughter was the future. And the future was the wearing, and the wearing was the knowing, and the knowing was the woman, and the woman was Diana, and Diana was the love. Harry was told of the moment by William in a phone call that evening. William described the locket, the photographs, the holding, the offering, and Harry in Montecito listened. And when William finished, Harry was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "She offered it to Catherine." William said, "Yes." Harry said, "My mother's locket, and she offered it to be held by her mother, because she wanted her grandmother to be with both of them." William said, "Yes." Harry said, "Then she is more her granddaughter than any of us knew, because that is exactly what my mother would have done. she would have shared it. She would never have kept it to herself. And Charlotte, without ever meeting her, is exactly like her. And William said, yes, she is. And the two brothers, who have spent a decade on opposite sides of an ocean and a silence shared in that call, a moment of recognition. That the grandmother they had lost and fought over and grieved and protected was alive in the girl who had claimed her jewels. Not in the pearls, in the sharing, in the offering, in the instinct to hold the love out so that it is with both. And the recognition was the connection. And the connection was the love. And the love was Diana. And Diana was the grandmother. And the grandmother was the girl. And the girl was the future. And the future was the sharing. And the sharing was the love. Lilibet was told when she was old enough by her father. Harry sat with her in the garden in Montecito, in the California light, and he told her the story. He told her about the box, the wall, the note, the claim, the decision. And he told her about the locket and the offering and the holding. And he said, your grandmother's jewels are with your cousin, and your grandmother's name is with you. And the name is the better gift, because the jewels can be lost, and the name cannot. The jewels can be taken, and the name cannot. The jewels are pearls, and the name is her, and you are her. And when you wear your name, you wear her. And that is the jewel that no one can give you, and no one can take from you, because it is already yours, and it always was. And Lilibet, who carries the name, listened. And she understood, in the way that children understand, that she was not on the outside, that she was not the one who missed out, that she was the one who carried the name. And the name was the grandmother, and the grandmother was the love, and the love was hers, and the hers was the better gift, and the better gift was the name, and the name was Diana, and Diana was the grandmother, and the grandmother was the girl, and the girl was Lilibet, and Lilibet was the future, and the future was the name, and the name was the love, and the love was the claim, and the claim was the two, and the two were the granddaughters, and the granddaughters were the grandmothers, and the grandmothers was the love, and the love was the jewels, and the jewels were the sharing, and the sharing was the family, and the family was the two, and the two were the one, and the one was Diana, and Diana was the love. What does this story tell us about the monarchy? It tells us that the institution's most powerful force is not its law, it is its children. The children who listen, the children who overhear, the children who put the pieces together, the children who make claims in kitchens over bowls of cereal in the clear, unself-conscious voices of the young. And the claims are not legal, they are moral, they are human. They are the claims of the future, reaching back to the past and saying, this is mine too, because she is my grandmother too. And the institution, which is built to divide, to allocate, to distribute by law, must, when it hears such a claim, decide whether to divide or to connect. And the connection is the harder path. And the connection is the right path. And the connection is the love. And the love is the jewels. And the jewels are the girl. And the girl is the granddaughter. And the granddaughter is the future. And the future is the wearing. And the wearing is the knowing. And the knowing is the woman. And the woman is Diana. And Diana is the grandmother. And the grandmother is the love. And the love is the claim. And the claim is the girl. And the girl is Charlotte. And Charlotte is the future. It tells us that Diana, 29 years after her death, is still giving, still connecting, still reaching across the silence to the grandchildren she never met. She hid 5 jewels in a wall for a granddaughter who did not exist. And the granddaughter came. 2 of them. And the note, written for 1, was honoured for 2, because the love that wrote the note was not arithmetic. It was not division. It was connection. And the connection found its way through a conservator's loose panel, through a child's 9 words, through a father's decision, through a mother's explanation, through a girl's offering. The love found its way, because love always finds its way. It does not need the law. It does not need the institution. It needs only a wall to be opened, and a child to ask, and a family to listen. And the family listened, and the love came through. And the love is the jewels. And the jewels are the girl. And the girl is the granddaughter. And the granddaughter is the future. and the future is the wearing, and the wearing is the knowing, and the knowing is the woman, and the woman is Diana, and Diana is the grandmother, and the grandmother is the love, and the love is the claim, and the claim is the girl, and the girl is Charlotte, and Charlotte is the future. It tells us that the hardest thing a family can do is not to divide, it is to connect, to take the thing that could be divided, the jewels, the estate, the memory, the grandmother, and to refuse to divide it. To say, the name is one girl's, but jewels are the others, and both are the grandmother's, and the grandmother is both of theirs, and the both is the connection, and the connection is the love, and the love is the family, and the family is the two, and the two are the one, and the one is the Diana, and Diana is the love, and the love is the sharing, and the sharing is the offering, and the offering is the locket, and the locket is the holding, and the holding is the two, and the two are the mother and the daughter, and the mother and the daughter are the family, and the family is the love, and the love is the claim, and the claim is the girl, and the girl is the granddaughter, and the granddaughter is the future, and the future is the wearing, and the wearing is the knowing, and the knowing is the woman, and the woman is the Diana, and Diana is the grandmother, and the grandmother is the love, and the love is the jewels, and the jewels are the sharing, and the sharing is the family, and the family is the two, and the two are the one, and the one is Diana, and Diana is the love. And it tells us that Charlotte, at 12, holds more than pearls. She holds a locket with 2 photographs, a bracelet with a private date, a pair of studs, a forget-me-not brooch, an emerald ring, and a promise. The promise she made to her mother, that the jewels are not hers alone, that they are ours, that Lilibet is her grandmother's too, that the name is the better gift, that the closeness is not in the pearls, it is in the blood, and the blood is the same, and the love is the same, and the promise is the connection, and the connection is the love, and the love is Diana, and Diana is the grandmother, and the grandmother is the two, and the two are the granddaughters, and the granddaughters are the future, and the future is the wearing, and the wearing is the knowing, and the knowing is the woman, and the woman is Diana, and Diana is the love, and the love is the claim, and the claim is the girl, and the girl is Charlotte, and Charlotte is the future, and the future is the love, and the love is the jewels, and the jewels are the sharing, and the sharing is the family, and the family is the two, and the two are the one, and the one is Diana, and Diana is the grandmother, and the grandmother is the love, and the love is the claim, and the claim is the girl, and the girl is the granddaughter, and the granddaughter is the future, and the future is the wearing, and the wearing is the knowing, and the knowing is the woman, and the woman is Diana, and Diana is the love. What do you think? Was the family right to give the jewels to Charlotte, honouring her claim and the note, or should the jewels have been divided equally between Charlotte and Lilibet? Does Harry's decision to give the jewels to Charlotte, while Lilibet keeps the name, resolve the division, or does it deepen it? Is Catherine's promise that Charlotte will share the jewels and tell Lilibet the name is the better gift, enough to keep the two granddaughters connected? And should the note, with its wish that the granddaughter know that her grandmother was a woman before she was a princess, ever be made public, or should it remain forever a private gift from a grandmother to her granddaughters? Tell us in the comments below. We read every one, and this story, more than any we have covered, deserves the community's judgment. If you want to stay ahead of the royal stories the mainstream media will not touch, make sure you are subscribed. Turn on the notification bell. Share this with someone who understands that the most powerful claims are not made in courtrooms. They are made in kitchens, over bowls of cereal, in the clear, unself-conscious voices of children who say, "She is my grandmother too," because in the House of Windsor the law divides, but the love connects, and the connection is the jewels, and the jewels are the girl, and the girl is the granddaughter, and the granddaughter is the future, and the future is the wearing, and the wearing is the knowing, and the knowing is the woman, and the woman is Diana, and Diana is the grandmother, and the grandmother is the love, and the love is the claim, and the claim is the girl, And the girl is Charlotte, and Charlotte is the future, and the future is the love, and the love is the jewels, and the jewels are the sharing, and the sharing is the family, and the family is the two, and the two are the one, and the one is Diana, and Diana is the love. Stay curious, stay informed, stay questioning. Goodbye.